Hi, Jason Lamoureux with Coldwell Banker Commercial. I'm in Oak Hills, California today at Oak Hills Brewing Company for another episode of CB Eats. Come on inside. Let me introduce you to Jerry Hackbarth, the owner. Jerry,
Welcome.
good to see you.
Good to see you.
Looking forward to the tour.
Come on in.
Hi, Jason Lamoureux with Coldwell Banker Commercial. I'm in Oak Hills, California today, and I'm with Jerry Hackbarth with Oak Hills Brewing Company. Thank you for agreeing to meet with us and your time today. So your family started in Barstow in 1964 as Del Taco, which has become one of the largest fast food Mexican chains in the Southwest. So when I heard you open Oak Hills Brewery, I actually had to take a stop and say, wait a minute, that's the Del Taco family. Now, how many years have you been here?
7 years.
7 years. So what made you start Oak Hills Brewery?
I just saw all the breweries opening up down the hill. San Diego, there's probably like 100 plus there when we started, and now there's over 200.
Huh.
And I said, I want to be the first one in the high desert because no one was up here.
And you were?
And we were the first one in the high desert, so it's kind of neat.
I enjoy beer, but where you would start with brewing, I would have no idea. How did you get it started?
I think just going down to San Diego and watching all the breweries open, and then just seeing that, everyone loves beer. So we got right in front of the boom, which was good for us. And then opened up here and just enjoyed it because, going to Barstow and working every day and then having a place to come back and just kind of unwind was kind of a dream,
Most people think about going home and unwinding with a beer, but your idea of unwinding is actually opening a brewery.
Exactly.
So what was your first beer?
I think the first beer that got me hooked to open up the brewery was the Triple Belgium.
Really?
Yeah, it was just something that was kind of over the top, that kind of got me hooked and got me to go ahead and open up the brewery.
And who comes up with the recipes?
That's kind of the fun part of owning a brewery, because you sit there and you'll say, wow, let's do an IPA, or let's do this IPA one, and maybe no one's never done it before. So you're kind of tasting and finding out, how can we make this better? So we just start testing, and then we don't do a small batch. We just do a big batch, and we've been lucky.
Yeah.
We've been very, very blessed, I should say. And they just sometimes, turn out really, really good, and other times they don't, and we change the name.
Behind us, there's several taps. On any given day, how many beers do you have on tap?
Right now we have 20 beers on tap, and then 3 sodas. That was one thing that we had to put in because my dad doesn't drink. So, and he loves, to come in and communicate and talk and everything. So we went ahead and did a homemade root beer, cream soda, and ginger ale.
Really?
That we make in the back from scratch. So it's a really good product.
So you've expanded since the original 2,400 square feet. We are now filming actually in the second phase, which is additional 2,400 square feet. And Coldwell Banker Commercial just leased you additional 9,000 square feet behind the brewery. Tell me your plans with that.
First having the tasting room of only 600 square feet, and we were packed. We had to do something. And so that now we have 2,600 square feet of tasting.
Oh, good.
And so now with the new building in back, so that's going to be our venue where we can host some really nice parties and enjoy that.
So the Victor Valley has over 400,000 population, but very few breweries. Do you see yourself expanding in the high desert or maybe outside of the high desert?
Yeah, the next ideal thing would be another tasting room, because we have license for 4 more. But I think the high desert, is just really untapped, so it's really good for us.
Jerry, I'd love a tour around the facility and see how it all comes together. Would you mind showing me around?
That's a good idea. Let's go.
Well, come on, join us for a quick tour of Oak Hills Brewing Company. Before we get to the back, we were coming through this area. Tell me a little bit about this area.
So this is where it all started. The funniest story is I said, we're going to do a soft opening. I'm not going to tell anyone, right? So the newspaper came out when we opened and everything like that. And then they posted the article online. And so down at the hill, there's a couple guys down there and it says, Oak Hills Brewery is open. I'm not kidding you, the line was out the door before we could even know what was going on.
Yeah. Neat to see where this all started. And let's go to the back.
Let's go.
Okay, so this is a part of the operation. Tell me a little bit about it. What am I looking at?
So you're looking at a 5-barrel system for brewing. The room that's behind us is our grain room. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and the day before get about 100 to 200 pounds of grain, depending on what size we're doing. We'll mill it, and then we'll bring it up here the next morning, and then that's when we start it. And a typical brew day is about 8 hours for one batch. And then, of course, we have 10 and 20 barrel fermentations, so we're doing 2 to 4 batches just to fill one of these.
And what's the alcohol range content on each of your beers, from
So,
low to high?
4.5, 5 to up to 10%.
10%. I'm calling Uber.
Yes, you probably should.
Yeah. Jerry, thank you very much. It's been absolutely a pleasure. I'm impressed by your operation and look forward to coming back again.
Cheers.
Salute. Thank you for joining us at Oak Hills Brewing Company. I'm Jason Lammer with Coldwell Banker Commercial, and that's another episode of CBEs. Please join us again.